The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Patti?
Yes. Hello. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are happy to be here with you today, sharing some great exciting travel opportunities that you might want to be thinking about, dreaming about, and actually making plans for in the future. And today we're going to be focusing on Viking cruises, but Viking cruises and a whole different experience. We know about the Viking river cruises, of course, and if you've been listening to some of our series on Viking cruise opportunities, you'll hear some redundancies, but today we've got some very, very exciting news to share with you regarding Viking Expedition cruises. Now, I just want to take a moment to introduce myself again. This is Patti Cash, and I'm the owner at Magic Cruises and Tours. And we have been in this business for 33 years. It's a family-owned and operated business. And with us today, we also have Dianne Pierson, who is our Director of Business Development and Sales with Viking Cruises. So we're happy to be sharing with you today, and thank you for taking time to be with us. Now, again, I think it's important that you know who you're working with when you're dealing with travel plans and so forth. And I just want to reassure you that you are in good hands. We have been located right in the heart of downtown Worthington since 1988. We're kind of like a fixture here. A lot of the environment has changed around us, but we remain here for you then and here for you now regarding any of your travel arrangements for vacation planning. I'm really excited to introduce you to our staff of amazing, amazing ladies that are dedicated to their profession to help you with your travel plans from beginning to end. We make it a seamless experience for you, and that's at no cost to you. So please take a minute to call and introduce yourself to one of our magic ladies. Shelly Franks is our owner, and she will direct you accordingly if you call in and ask for Shelly. Now, we've been working with the Epcon folks behind the scenes, kind of in the marketing department and so forth, to come up with some really exciting exclusive opportunities for folks that live in the Epcon communities in Central and Columbus, Ohio area. So hopefully by now you're aware of some of the exciting options and exclusive savings that we can provide you with, as well as a referral program that we'll share with you towards the end of the presentation. Take a look at that website, get acquainted with it. You'll see that there is, on top of all the great deals that we've organized with Viking Cruises for you, we have an exclusive offer for an additional $200 savings, an additional $200 credit for being an Epcon homeowner in Columbus, Ohio area. So please take advantage of all the savings. We love to piggyback all the best deals for our clients. So again, today we're going to be talking about expedition cruises. We've got our Viking Cruises specialist, Dianne Pierson, is joining us today to introduce us to this new form of travel that Viking is offering. So thanks, Dianne. We appreciate you being with us, and take it away.
Thank you, Patti. Hi, everyone. I think this is the fourth in our series of very special webinars that Magic Cruise asked me to partner with them on, specifically and exclusively for the Epcon communities in Central Ohio. And so we have already completed a webinar on an introduction to Viking cruises. We've talked about Viking river cruises. We've talked about Viking ocean cruises. We've talked about the exciting new Viking Mississippi cruises. And today we are going to introduce you to Viking expeditions. So we have talked about cruising in Europe, a little bit closer to home, and now we're journeying to the ends of the earth with Viking expeditions. Is in the process of building two brand new ships, the Viking Octantis and the Viking Polaris. And these two vessels will be sailing in the Arctic, the North Pole, and the Antarctic, the South Pole, of course, as well as in the Great Lakes. So we've got a lot to talk about today. But here's a picture of what these beautiful vessels will be looking like. We will begin our cruising in Antarctica in January of 2022, but all of these programs are for sale now. Excuse my scratchy allergy voice this morning. So the Viking Octantis and the Viking Polaris will come in at about 30,150 gross tons. Each of the vessels will carry 378 passengers. That's based on double occupancy, and we will have a crew of 260. So a very high crew to guest ratio. So there will be a lot of people there when we're sailing in these remote parts of the earth to assist you and guide you and help you along the way. The Viking Octantis and Polaris are kind of a very special amalgamation or a blending, if you will, of many of the features that Viking has already launched on the Viking longships on the rivers of Europe, as well as the Viking ocean vessels and even the Viking Mississippi vessel. For example, Manfredi's is an Italian restaurant that we introduced on the Viking ocean vessels. The restaurant, our main dining room, is a concept that we originally started on the Viking longships on the rivers. We have it on the oceans and the Mississippi, and now on the Expedition ships. The living room was an atrium concept that we launched on the Viking ocean vessels, as well as the Explorer's Lounge. But these two vessels are very special and unique for this market because they're being built with a long hull that is an icebreaker class bow. So that means, you know, when we're in the Arctic, if we do come across some ice, these ships will definitely be able to push right through the ice. We also have state-of-the-art fin and U-tank stabilizers to ensure the calmest possible sailing at any speed. We'll also have a front sonar and dynamic positioning system to allow us to navigate where other ships cannot go. And we do this without disturbing pristine seabeds. Another feature that I'm going to show you in just a moment is a dynamic venue for lectures and entertainment with floor-to-ceiling windows and an outdoor terrace as well, and that's called the Eula. And then the hangar, a first among expeditionary ships, ours is going to be a protected onboard marina which will house our kayaks and rib boats and zodiacs and submersibles. So let's go ahead and look at this incredible new class of ships that is built. Here's a picture of the atrium. And if you are familiar with our Viking vessels, if you've sailed with us on the rivers or the oceans, or you've watched the webinars on our fleet up until this point, this should look fairly familiar to you because this is the Viking style. It's a very distinctive style, simple, understated, elegant, clean lines, very high-end materials, terrazzo tile floors, tongue-and-groove woods, beautiful hand-loomed carpets, and great soft colors to just kind of give you that sense of relaxation when you're on board the vessel. But this new space that we have on the Viking expeditionary vessels is called the Eula, or it's the theater, but it's a pretty dynamic space. We'll be providing great programming on these ships. You know, when we're sailing in Europe, Russia, and Asia, and even on the Mississippi, we're talking about visiting museums and castles and historic homes and great sites. And when we're in these markets in the North and the South Pole, it really is about the environment and about the terrain and about the landscape. And so this space will be a space where we'll have lecturers come in and talk to you about everything we're getting ready to see and do. It also is quite dynamic because that whole screen sort of rotates up to the ceiling, and then the space becomes an indoor-outdoor space. So that's the theater with that screen raised up to the ceiling. So you can sit inside that theater on the aft end of the vessel and enjoy the beautiful view, or you can come outside onto the Finsa terrace. Now, some people might think it's a little bit cold in Antarctica or in the Arctic, but when we're traveling there, beginning in the Antarctic in January of 2022, the average daily temperature is 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And for me, that's, you know, if I bundle up well enough, I could sit out there and absolutely enjoy the fresh air and the beautiful blue sky and the puffy white clouds and the incredible, unreal terrain that is surrounding you.
Mhm.
The Explorer's Lounge is a two-story area on the front end of the ship that, again, provides a great space for viewing and enjoying the surroundings. The living room, just like we launched on the Viking ocean vessels, is a comfortable environment. On most cruise ships, this would be known as the atrium. Many times on those big ocean vessels, the atriums can become cavernous and loud and clanky and crowded. And our concept is for you to feel like you're just coming home and sitting down and relaxing. And we give you lots of spaces and areas to do that on these vessels because we'll be going out on expeditionary landings every single day. And you'll be busy, and maybe when you come back on board, you'll be a little bit tired, and you'll want places to just kind of rejuvenate and kind of catch your breath. We'll have an indoor-outdoor swimming pool, and you might think, oh no, not me, not in the Antarctic. But as I mentioned, we'll be sailing in the Great Lakes in the summers, so of course there might be some days when you'd want to go outside and catch some rays and take a nice swim. We also will have an indoor swimming pool in our Nordic spa. And Expedition Central, this is kind of the place where all of the planning for your landings and your excursions takes place. It's also a studio for photography classes and other workshops. And then here's the hangar area where we're housing all of the equipment that you'll be using to go out on your landings or your excursions, because these vessels are not docked. They're anchored out offshore. So we launch you from the large ship on a Zodiac or a kayak or a convertible rib boat, or even on one of our two 6-seater submersibles. They look pretty fun, I think. So you'll be going off on these great excursions every single day and just really exploring the landscape and learning about the environment of where we are in these vast, far reaches of our planet. Your rib boats and other vessels will be launched off of this slipway area, which can launch you off and then bring you right back onto the vessel. And then in that hangar area, we also have an in-ship marina, as well as a working scientific laboratory. So very different kind of cruising experience for us at Viking, because as I said, we're used to visiting castles and cathedrals. We're introducing the Nordic balcony, the Viking Nordic balcony for the stateroom accommodations. There won't be exterior verandas because this environment can be a little bit harsher. So you have this beautiful Nordic balcony area. That big picture window, though, gives you lots of light and lots of opportunity to enjoy the views. And that window is retractable, so you can open it and get some fresh air, poke your nose out, and take some pictures. And look at our Nordic penthouse, 269 square feet. Now remember, we only accommodate 2 passengers in any single stateroom. So this is just the lap of luxury for 2 people in the farthest corners of the earth. Look at this Explorer Suite. It looks like something that you would see at a fine hotel in London or Paris. Now, every one of the staterooms is going to have a floor-to-ceiling drying closet, because when you go out on your expeditionary landing in the morning, you might get a little wet. So you bring your gear back, you hang it up in the drying closet, and when you're ready to go out on your afternoon excursion, your clothes will be dry for you. Now, we will be giving everybody a Viking Expedition jacket that will be included, and then included for your free use while you're on board the vessels will be boots and waterproof pants and walking poles. And we'll be sure to provide you with a list of suggested gear to purchase and bring with you, or you'll be able to purchase it on board the vessel. The restaurant, as I mentioned, we have a restaurant, similar kind of space on our long ships, our ocean vessels, the Viking Mississippi, and the same is true on the Octantis and the Polaris. This is where you'll enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's table service, country club casual, open seating. You don't need a reservation, and the menu changes every single day. Now, we typically talk about the menu reflecting your destination. I'm not exactly sure what that will include in the North Pole and the South Pole, but I think it will be interesting for sure. We'll have Manfredi's, which is our Italian restaurant that we launched on the Viking ocean vessels. very, very successfully. It's very highly rated, and Cruise Critic rates the steak in Manfredi's as the best on any cruise ship in the industry. So you can enjoy that when you're cruising to the North and the South Pole as well. Now, Manfredi's there's no charge, but a reservation really is very important. We'll also have the World Cafe, which is our buffet area, fantastic gelato and coffee, as well as Namsen's Deli, which is our Norwegian-style deli that we launched on the Viking Ocean vessels. Namsen's is named after our owner, Torsten Hagen. And if you look toward the back of the picture, you'll see a picture of a woman, sort of a brown and white sepia picture. That is our owner's mother. And he called her Mamsen. So Mamsen's is dedicated to her. And the foods that are served in here are from her kitchen. So it might be waffles with brown cheese, or Norwegian open fish sandwiches, or fish soup, or scrumptious, yummy Scandinavian style desserts. So this is where we'll be going. We are going to the Antarctic Peninsula of the South Pole. And as you can see on the map, I'm a map girl. Here's our globe. And that's the continent of South America. We'll be flying into Ushuaia, right at the very tip of the little point there, the little peninsula of the continent there, and traveling down to the Antarctic Peninsula from Ushuaia. So we'll have a couple of different itineraries that will take you to Antarctica. But let's just look at the Antarctic Explorer to give you an idea of what the excursions and the itineraries are going to be like. So you will fly into Buenos Aires, Argentina, and remember we're beginning these journeys in January of 2022. So you fly into Buenos Aires and we'll pick you up and take you to your hotel for one night where you'll have your expedition briefing. The next day we're going to fly you by private charter down to Ushuaia, and you can see on the map where the little dot is. And then from there, you will board your Viking expeditionary vessel and then cruise across the Drake Passage down to the Antarctic Peninsula. You will spend 6 days exploring the last continent, looking for glaciers calving and seals and penguins as they relax on the hillsides. So 6 days of just really enjoying all of those fantastic toys that I showed you, the rib boats and the submersible and such. And then you'll cruise back across the Drake Passage to Cape Horn, sail around Cape Horn, and then from there we will fly you by private flight back up to Buenos Aires, and you'll fly home. Now, again, hopefully while you're there, this is one of the great things that people want to see when they're in the Antarctic Peninsula, some of the Antarctic penguins. Hopefully you'll get sightings of humpback whales and blue whales and orcas and a variety of seals as well as migratory birds. On the other side of the planet is the North Pole, of course, and we will be traveling to Svalbard. You can see in that little red square. Svalbard is actually part of Norway, excuse me, and we'll be traveling to the Arctic, the North Pole, in July through September, beginning in 2022. Again, the temperature not nearly as cold as one might think. The average daily temperature ranges anywhere between 37 and 54 degrees Fahrenheit. So to get to Svalbard, we begin our cruise in Tromsø, Norway. So you have to fly to Tromsø, Norway, which is almost at the North Cape of Norway, board the vessel there, and then cruise up to Svalbard. You'll spend 3 days exploring, again, looking for calving glaciers and spotting whales and polar bears. On day 7, you will take a journey to the polar ice caps, so you'll have an opportunity to see that really important part of the world. And then back to Svalbard for 3 more days, kayaking, hiking, a whole variety of things that you can do. And then cruise back to Tromsø and then fly home from there. This is some of the Arctic landscape that hopefully you'll have an opportunity to enjoy and take pictures of. And hopefully you'll get a spotting of the king of Svalbard, the polar bear. Now, as I mentioned, when we're not sailing in the Arctic or the Antarctic, we will be sailing on the Great Lakes. This is the largest freshwater ecosystem on Earth, and of course, the Great Lakes are comprised of Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, and Lake Erie. Now, you folks in Michigan are probably far more familiar with the Great Lakes than I am because I'm an East Coast girl. So I think these itineraries are pretty exciting to be able to learn a little bit more about this part of our world. So we will have one very traditional Canada-New England cruise. This is on the expeditionary vessels, where you'll sail from New York to Toronto through the Gulf of St. Lawrence and the St. Lawrence Seaway. And then from there, from Toronto, on our Niagara and the Great Lakes cruise, we will cruise through the Welland Canal locks, visit Niagara Falls, into Lake Erie, and then up into Lake Huron, and we'll stop along the way in Alpena and Mackinac Island, which I'm sure you're very familiar with, a beautiful, beautiful place, Traverse City, and then to Milwaukee. From Milwaukee, on our Great Lakes Explorer, we will cruise up into Georgian Bay, which is part of Ontario, Canada, and you will visit Parry Sound, Killarney, and Little Current. You'll spend 3 days exploring that area of Canada, and it really is magnificent. Just sort of an magnificent, it's like hard to put it into words, and you probably know better than I do. Just great spots where you can go hiking and biking and kayaking. So 3 days of exploring, and then you cruise through the Soo Locks, which is an engineering marvel, and up into Thunder Bay. From Thunder Bay, we do have another cruise. This is the final one, Undiscovered Great Lakes, where you go from Thunder Bay to Duluth, and then visit the Apostle Islands, Houghton, Michigan, on the Upper Peninsula, through the Soo Locks, Mackinac Island, and then back to Milwaukee. From Thunder Bay, Viking is offering an extension to Churchill, Ontario. And Churchill is known as one of the best spots on the planet for polar bear sightings, as well as one of the best spots on the planet to see the northern lights. So if you're going all the way up to Thunder Bay, you may want to look into adding on that Churchill extension. Of course, you're going to call the experts at Magic Cruises so they can help you work your way through any of these great programs. Why Viking Expeditions? There are many other companies that are out there doing that, but you know what? We're Vikings. We have a tradition of exploration. We have a tradition of building award-winning vessels. We're going to be providing some really unique expeditionary equipment for you to use and enjoy during your time with us in the North or the South Pole. We're bringing our distinctive Scandinavian style to this market. We're also going to enjoy some great partnerships with experts and lots of enrichment programs on board the vessel, beautiful staterooms, incredible food, as well as our award-winning service. Our scientific partnerships on the expeditionary vessels includes the Scott Polar Research Institute, the University of Cambridge, the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, as well as NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. So these organizations will be providing programming on board the vessels. This all comes to you as part of what is included while you're on your expeditionary journey. So you'll be learning a lot and having some great experiences at the same time. And why not the Galapagos Islands? We're going everywhere with Viking, and it really is very exciting to introduce to you also that, you know, if you always had a dream of going to the Galapagos Islands, you can do it with Viking. And why go with Viking? Well, we have over 23 years of experience around the world of providing great enrichment, wonderful onboard programming, fantastic Viking hospitality, as well as our great Viking value. We're going to be offering great programs with introductions into the local life and the working world. You'll do farm visits and school visits. You'll even have the opportunity, if you want to take part of a shaman healing ceremony. You can enjoy a traditional Pachamancha barbecue and a Paso horse show. You can listen to musicians playing ancient instruments, as well as enjoy a weaving demonstration in the Sacred Valley. So just like on all of our other products, with our inclusive value, the price you pay up front includes an excursion and a report, all of your meals on board the ship, beer, wine, and soft drinks with lunch and dinner, coffees and teas, the gear and equipment that you need, as well as government fees and taxes. And on our Galapagos cruise, it's actually a cruise tour where you spend the first 8 days on land. So the price you pay up front, in addition to the cruise to the Galapagos Islands, also includes 2 nights at the JW Marriott Miraflores in Lima, Peru. You'll have 2 nights at the Tambo del Inca in the Sacred Valley, 2 nights at the Inca Terra Pueblo Hotel at Machu Picchu, 2 nights at the Belmont Hotel in Cusco, and 1 night at the Wyndham in Guayaquil. 5 intra-itinerary flights will be included. You'll also have the Vista Dome train to and from Machu Picchu, as well as motor coach transfers and our value-priced international air. And if you look at comparing the Viking product in the Galapagos Islands to our closest competitor, which is Talc, our price is $1,000 less per person. That's a very significant savings. So we will be offering 3 different itineraries to the Galapagos, Machu Picchu, and Peru. As I mentioned, the first 8 days of each one of these cruise tours will be identical. You'll have time in Lima, you'll visit the Sacred Valley, you'll go to Machu Picchu, and then there will be a 6-night cruise around the islands and then 2 4-night cruises. Again, you're going to need to call your travel professionals at Magic Cruises to help you decide which one of these itineraries is going to be the right one for you. Mm-hmm. So let's just take a quick look. Again, I'm a map girl, so this always means a lot to me. For our Galapagos program, you're going to fly into Lima, then fly over to the Sacred Valley, have time there. That's where the Incas lived and had their great civilization. You'll go up to Machu Picchu, and then from Cusco, we'll fly you up to Guayaquil, and then fly you over to Baltra Island, where you will board the vessel, and you will sail around the islands either 4 days or 6 days. You'll have time to enjoy the beautiful colonial Spanish architecture in Peru. The Sacred Valley at the base of the Andes, again, is where the Incas had their civilization. The Incas had developed this incredible weaving tradition, and you'll be able to enjoy not a reenactment, but a regeneration of that tradition. So they're keeping that tradition alive. Of course, traditions are so important. Here is the Sacred Valley in Peru, and this is where that great civilization was housed. And so you'll spend a couple of days there. You'll spend time in Machu Picchu. The benefit of taking a Viking cruise tour to the Galapagos and this area of Peru is that we give you 2 days to visit Machu Picchu, and most cruise companies or tour operators only give you 1 day. So you'll have many opportunities there. You'll see Cusco, which was the capital of the Incas, and then from Guayaquil, we'll fly you over to Baltra Island. You board your vessel, and then you'll spend time exploring the islands, Baltra Island. You'll have a chance to swim or snorkel with the sea lions. We'll take you to San Cristobal Island. I think everybody wants to get one of those pictures of these very iconic giant tortoises. All of the islands are different. The Santa Fe and South Plaza Islands are very arid, like a desert. So interesting. You'll have time to do a beach walk. And then we'll take you to the Charles Darwin Research Center. Again, I think everybody wants to have their picture taken with one of the giant tortoises. This critter kind of really just amazes me. An underwater iguana, I guess. I know there's a name for it, but hopefully you'll have. I'm sorry?
They're called marine iguanas. Yes.
Marine iguanas, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
You'll have a chance to hopefully see one when you're taking a glass bottom boat tour. You'll see a wide variety of crazy birds, and then wind up back in Baltra, where we'll fly you back to Guayaquil. You'll be sailing on the Santa Cruz 2. Now, this is not a vessel that is owned by Viking, but it is a vessel that is leased and operated by Viking. Viking is taking over the entire vessel. We are going to Vikingize it. That means we're going to completely redesign the interior and the exterior of the vessel to have that Viking flair, the Viking, the look and the appeal of our Scandinavian style and design. So simple, understated, and elegant interior spaces. Beautiful restaurant. Just like our other ships, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, table service, a menu that reflects the destination, open seating, no reservations required. Nice outside terrace spot, and beautiful bedrooms. There are no verandas on this ship, but the bedrooms will be very comfortable and definitely reflect the Viking style and flair. So now, I've shared so much with you today. Viking has a lot to do. We got a lot going on. We're now sailing on 7 continents to 95 countries, 403 ports of call around the world, 5 oceans, 20 rivers, and 5 Great Lakes. So thank you for joining me on today's expeditionary webinar. And be sure to tune in on all of them: Viking Rivers, Viking Oceans, Viking Mississippi. And remember, there also is an intro webinar that you can have a look at if you just want to get an overview. So I'm going to say thank you for allowing me to share my part today on the Viking Expeditionary Program. And Patti Cash, take it away from here. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Diane. I appreciate your insight on all of this. It's so hard for me to keep myself quiet while Diane is talking because I want to just insert my excitement and my enthusiasm. And what we talked about today are truly some bucket list trips that I know are on a lot of people's wish list. And I personally have been to the Galapagos Islands, and it was one of my most life-changing experiences that I've had in the 33 years that I've been doing this business. And I hope that everybody gets a chance to experience those animals up close and personal. I'm kind of an animal person myself, so I love that. It was a highlight. But we're bringing this to you today because it's important that while we're not traveling right now, we have to be making plans for the future. And these opportunities are out there for you in 2021 and 2022 and 2023 even, to be booking those now. And there's never been a better chance because the Viking is offering a risk-free guarantee, all to provide you with more flexibility. If you need to change your plans down the road, that's part of this program. So give us a call. Let us explain all this to you. Right now, that program risk-free guarantee is applicable through June 30th. But stay tuned with us for more advances as we move forward. Also, take a peek at your website. On the EPCON website, if you don't already know this, please check it out. That's where you're going to find more details about our partnership, Magic Cruises and Tours in downtown Worthington, with Viking Cruises and EPCON Communities of Columbus, Ohio. We're offering you additional savings. Our services are free. We'll be putting a lot of videos up there for you to review as well. And I think the program with Viking, we love Viking Cruises so much, and anything that Torsten Hagen does is done well. The consistency throughout their products and different programs, they offer so much. You can literally travel the world in comfort and in style with Viking Cruises. So just pick up the phone and give us a call. We will be here to help you. Our phone number is 614-847-5551. And just let us know first off that you're calling from an EPCON community in central Columbus, Ohio area, and we'll be glad to get you started and send you on your way. So I guess right now I would say get your passports ready, make sure you're ready to travel, and also I just want to make sure that you're aware of, if you don't know this already, this is a great opportunity for you to share your own personal, excitement about living in an EPCON community, refer your friends and family. It's great to have neighbors that you love and like surrounding you. So refer your friends and family to potentially purchase in an EPCON community, and you'll be entered in a drawing to win $6,000 towards a Viking cruise of your choice. You know, on that note, we find that a lot of friends and family do travel together. And if you happen to have several couples that are interested in traveling on the same trip together, please let us know that too. There could be additional benefits in traveling with a group, we call it, and so we're happy to share all of those benefits with you as well. So for now, we'll say thank you very much for sharing your time with us. We appreciate it so much. We hope you find this, helpful and informative, and we look forward to sharing so much more of our enthusiasm and our knowledge to make your trip the most memorable ever. Thank you again. Signing off for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.